Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to talk uh, about step 27 of starting your business. So, step 27 is to understand these key points about seeking venture capital financing. Startups seeking financing often turn to venture capital VC firms, which can provide capital, strategic assistance, introductions to potential customers, partners, and employees, and much more. Venture capital financings are not easy to obtain or close. Entrepreneurs will be better prepared to obtain VC financing if they understand the process, the anticipated deal terms, and the potential issues that will arise. To understand the process of obtaining VC financing, it is important to know that venture capitalists typically focus their investment efforts using one or more of the following criteria. So these are the following points and criteria for seeking VC financing of businesses or big companies. The first point is specific industry sectors like software, digital media, semiconductor, mobile, SaaS, biotech, mobile devices, and etc. Stage 2. Stage of company early stage seed or series rounds or later stage rounds with companies that have achieved meaningful revenues and traction. The third point is company location. San Francisco, Silicon Valley, New York, etc. Before approaching a venture capitalist, try to learn whether his or her focus aligns with your company and its stage of development. The second key point to understand is that VCs get inundated with investment opportunities, many through unsolicited emails. Almost all of those unsolicited emails are ignored. The best way to get the attention of a VC is to have a warm introduction through a trusted colleague, entrepreneur, or lawyer friendly to the VC. A startup must have a good elevator pitch, as discussed in point 6, and a strong investor pitch deck, as discussed in point number 18, to attract the interest of a VC. Startups should also understand that the venture process can be very time consuming. Just getting a meeting with a principal of a VC firm can take weeks, followed up with more meetings and conversations, followed by a presentation to all of the partners of the venture capital fund, followed by the issuance and negotiation of a term sheet with continued due diligence, and finally, the drafting and negotiation by lawyers on both sides of numerous legal documents to evidence the investment. VC, VCs usually want to see that your business has made some progress and gotten some traction in the market. They'll typically not fund a very early stage company or just an idea. For that, you're better off seeking angel investors. Most venture capitalists won't agree to sign the NDA, so don't bother asking. For a comprehensive article on the venture capital financing process, see A Guide to Venture Capital Financing for Startups. Step 28. Pay attention to your business contracts. Business contracts are legally binding written agreements between two or more parties. They are an important part of business, and such agreements need to be created or negotiated carefully. While smaller businesses will often conduct business based on informal handshake agreements or unspoken understandings, the more that is at stake, the more essential it is to have a signed contract. A contract serves as the rules that must be followed by both parties. It presents each party with the opportunity to describe all obligations that are expected to fulfill, describe all obligations they expect the other party or parties to fulfill, limit any liabilities. Set parameters such as a time frame in which the terms of the contract will be met, set terms of a sale, lease, or rental, establish payment terms, clearly establish all the risks and responsibilities of the parties. A contract is, in essence, a written meeting of the minds, while it is typically drawn up by one party and favors the needs and requirements of that party, protecting them from most, if not all, liabilities. It should initially be thought of as a work in progress that changes and grows as each party contributes prior to signing, after which it becomes an official document. Consideration, whether it is monetary or a promise to do work or provide a service by a specified date, is at the root of a contract. The term standard contract is more myth than reality, and too often people simply sign on the dotted line without reading or negotiating the terms of a contract. A startup has to make sure it is comfortable with all of the terms of the contract, and depending on the deal dynamics, also any term is negotiable. Consideration, compensation, ownership rights, liability, and risk are all areas that need to be worded carefully. You should seek out help from a qualified attorney who is experienced in contracts to make sure you have covered each of these areas in a clear manner. The contract itself should stipulate how it shall be enforced and what actions can be taken if one party fails to meet their obligations. It is often to the benefit of smaller businesses to have a confidential binding arbitration clause to resolve any disputes. The key contracts that a startup should have as its own form of standard contract drafted in the startup's favor include sales or service agreement, license agreement, offer letter to employees, consulting agreement with an independent contractors. You want to make sure that you will own the intellectual property rights for anything they develop for your business. Confidentiality and invention assignment agreement for employees and independent contractors. Non-disclosure agreement. See 10 key contracts for small and growing businesses. Thank you for watching this video. Please stay tuned for our next videos.